Hey crew, Angel here today with some more Angel's Learning and Edjumacation. And today we're here to talk about Barber or Liberty Head dimes. And here's like the information. 1892 to 1916. And we're going to try to do some grading here, folks. But also, I went through the Cherry Picker's Guide, and I learned that there is tons of repunched dates. I checked all these to save some time from everyone. But if you get a Barber dime, check the date. If there's like anything out of the ordinary on the date, if it's like looks like there's a little bit something extra there, then I would check into it more, because that's what I learned. I learned there is tons of repunch dates. That's like the only out of the ordinary thing, but none of mine had repunch dates, so thumbs down, boo. But we're gonna start here, and Red Book only starts at G, but as you can see up here, this one starts at about good. So heavily worn coin, no detail, and the rim around the edge of the coin will be worn into the letters. See how it's worn out the letters in the wreath. And I'm going to show you a real example. Well, I mean, that's a real example, but here's a example that I have. As you notice, the United in the States is kind of wore off. Like the rim is wore so much that it wore it off. And then here's an example of the back. As you can see, the rim is like morphed and worn into the wreath on the back. So this is an about good example. It's not good, it's about good. Haha. So next brings us to the good. Few details on the front, but the rim should be full on reverse. The wreath will be outlined, and the rim may or may not be full. So I'm gonna show you a couple examples, which is kind of weird. They can be totally different, so the very good range can be totally different. Let's flip over to my actual coin here. So date and letters plain. Oh, Liberty is obliterated. So like you see in the crown area, there is no liberty in her crown. It is obliterated. So if there's no letters and you got full rimmage going on, as you see the rim, you can tell the difference between where the rim is and where the rim isn't. So good. Oh, look, there's some corn, folks. Jimmy crack corn and some wheat. But yeah, so basically about good is it's worn into the rim. Good means you still have mostly rim. You can tell the rim. You can tell it has a rim. See this one? You can tell it has a rim. This one, I mean, it's got partial rim, but the rim is getting worn. So that brings us to, sorry, I'm just putting that there so you don't have a blank screen. Which brings us to the next one, which is very good. And so on very good, you should be able to make out at least 3 letters in the headdress. Which you can't really make out their letters so good. But I'm going to show you an example of what I have here. Alright, I don't know, this one's not super good, but there's a couple letters. So fine means I can see some letters, man. Fine. There's probably better letters. Now this one, you can pretty much see almost all the letters, but not quite. So I would really pop this up to like in between. So I would consider this like a fine, very fine like slider, because the very fine you're supposed to be able to see like a trace of all the letters, but you can't quite see all the letters there. So I would consider this a fine to very fine. She's so fine. Yeah. So this was the best example, and I'm pretty sure it's borderline very fine. She is very fine. See, very fine. All the letters of Liberty will be visible. So, yeah. Let's see. I'm pretty sure these are some very fine. Very fine. I think I found 3 very fine. You can see all the letters. Let's see if I can get it focused. I mean, even when you can see all the letters, the Y is hard to see. So I would consider this, and I have another one. And it just amazes me how, like, up until it gets to be, like, uncirculated and stuff, people, they don't really even care about the back of the coins. So literally, you're always just looking at the front. But you can see pretty much all the letters. So that would be considered very fine, in my opinion. And of course, like you know, grading is opinionated. So very fine. And next goes to extremely fine and almost uncirculated. And that's what I have, folks. I don't have any uncirculated barbers. But like you'll see here, extremely fine. There's still like a 3D-ness of her head. Like this one, look, oh, her head, her hair, you can't see it. It's like all worn down. So I have 2 examples, and I think my 2 examples are in between extremely fine and about uncirculated. So let's go there and see. Now see, you can see the hair. You can see the hair bump on her head, and you can see the Liberty. You can actually, I think I had to turn it a different way to make out the Y, because the Y is like the hardest thing to see. But you see it? Oh, whoop, there it is. Liberty. There's the Y. It's still a little hard to see, but you see, I mean, it's a teeny bit circulated in her hair area, but I really would consider it an XFAU, what they call XFAU slider. And here's another one. So these are like the best 2 coins that I have for the Barber series, but you can see the Y there pretty good, can't you? And you can see their hair. It's there. She's got the bump. She's got the bump. You gotta get some bump. Woo! And so next, I was thinking, hey, let's see like some pricing guides. What's this? 1906. I thought one of these was a 1906. Okay, this one's a 1906. I have a 1906. Oh, it's going lower. I'm like, what the heck? And here's like the gray sheet price guide. So a 1906. So I think it's an XFAU slider. So like, here's a gray sheet price, 30 for XF. CAC, it adds a $5, but it's not graded, so it's not CAC, and gray sheet's at 45. So this is like retail pricing right here. So pretty good. I think my coin is worth anywhere in between $40 and $60. So this coin right here is one of my best coins I have. And it doesn't want to stay focused. So this coin is anywhere between $40 and $60 in price range. And my other good one is $18.92. No mint mark. And the mint mark is below the wreath. So let's look this one up, folks. $18.92. And I think it's an XFAU slider. So let's go back. Wow, my computer is very slow. Blank page. Here, I'll just show you my beautiful rings and fingers. Because my computer is being very slow. Actually, I think I will pause it. 50 years later, because my computer is so slow. And look, there's some pretty blue toning. But this is 1892 plain. So let's see if it's gonna be nice now. Nope, I'm going up. 1892. 1892, where are you? I know. My husband's like, you scroll too fast. How can you even read that? All right, so here it goes. 1892. And what do we think this is, folks? XFAU slider. Do 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 do. Looking up stuff takes a lot of time and effort, a lot of work. We're almost there. Let's see. All right. I think it's an AU XF slider. And it's pretty much the same price as the other one. So I have a $40 to $61 coin. So what did we learn, folks? We learned that about good is coins going in, or is the rimmage is so warage that it goes into the words and the wreath. And then what did we learn about the next one? Good is anything that has pure rimmage. And that was an ugly one. And then the next one is fine. Fine has some letters visible. So this one is, well, it only needs to have 3 letters visible for fine. So this one is a very fine because it has more than 3. So more than 3 would be fine to very fine, because very fine says that they all have to kind of be there. So that's in between. And one more thing, let me find something. It's my favorite. What is it? It's a O. Oh, 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 it's magic. You know, my favorite mint mark is O. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. All right. Enough about that, folks. Hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully you had fun learning with me. So that's about it today for the episode of Angels Learning and Edumacation. I hope you had as much fun as I did, and I hope to see you on the next one. So I will see you later, and you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks. Bye-bye.